Hello every pony, Day Lover here. Warning, this video will contain pictures from Google that is not mine, so please give respect to the owners of these pictures and copyrights. And also warning, it's going to contain my own personally opinion about stuff in My Little Pony, so if you don't like stuff like this, click away or else stay. Yeah, here we go. 3, 2, 1. So as you can see, it's going to be a really wild theory about me thinking that Amora's dragon was the Dragon King. And before you guys click off and be like, oh, this is not going to be really interesting, like, I implore you to at least hear me out before you leave and stuff like that. Or else leave a comment down below if you think like Amora had a dragon and which dragon it was. If it was the red dragon that we see later on that Fluttershy is battling, or you think it's like one of the younger dragons. The reason why I think like the Dragon King is Amora's dragon is because like we have seen with Spike, for example, how slow he is to grow up and what happens when he becomes affected by greed. So I put 2 and 2 together and I was just like, well, maybe Twilight isn't the first pony to hatch a dragon egg, because like that would be a little bit weird, because then Twilight would have ascended when she got her cutie mark, because like opening a dragon egg, isn't that a new form of magic if like nobody have seen it before or done it before? I'm not quite sure about how this is working, but I really do believe like Amora had a dragon egg and she hatched it, and out of it came the Dragon King. Of course, his name was not the Dragon King, but I don't know. I will not call him anything else because I don't know his original name. But all of the dragons have to come from someplace, right? So I was thinking like every dragon egg was made by magic by Starswell the Bearded, or like the Dragon King was also hatched from an egg with magic from the ponies in some shape, way, or form. The reason why I was thinking about this is like the Dragon King also can talk like Spike. We don't know anything about his origins and stuff like that. But if it's true what I'm saying, like, okay, Amora broke the egg and out came the Dragon King. Amora took care of him for a while before he turned to greed, and like he lost his memory, like as it was told in the episode with Spike, and he got his lust for greed and stuff like that. We've seen like the dragons forgetting things when they're obsessed with the greed, or how to say that. So I believe like the Dragon King was affected by the greed stuff, and Amora couldn't help him, and he became the king of the dragons. That would explain why the dragons haven't attacked the Crystal Empire yet for eating it, or for like taking it over because it's shiny and looks like it's worth a lot of money, and we know how dragons is with money, and that's why I think like the Dragon King and the other dragons haven't taken over yet. It's because the Dragon King is actually the egg that was hatched by Amora, and they just forgot everything because like the Dragon King was overtaken by greed, and Amora got her mind erased by Sombra, or she got killed, and she couldn't do anything about like the greed taking over the dragon. That could actually also be a factor, like maybe it was anger that triggered the Dragon King, because like imagine what would have happened to Spike if like Twilight hatched Spike and she later got killed by somebody. I think like Spike would have so much rage, so he would turn into a raging dragon, and that could also explain the Dragon King and the rage filled and all of this good stuff. But this is only my own convoluted theory. Tell me in the comments down below what you think. I was also thinking like maybe the dragon egg was a product of Amora being a changeling and her having a alliance with the Dragon King and giving birth to the dragon egg in some shape, way, or form. Or it was actually Starswell the Bearded working together with the Dragon King or one of the other dragons to make like these magical dragon eggs, as I said in the start. Like, I think like all of the dragons have magical eggs that comes from some place or somehow. I think like all dragons are like Spike, that they maybe don't have original parents. We don't see parents from the other dragons, so we are on a blank state there. But I just feel like it's right with the thing that all of the magic comes from Starswell the Bearded and the ascension of the Alicorns, as I talked about in the other episode. That magic could also be the thing that actually makes dragons eggs, because like Spike later on get his wings, and we have seen ascensions happen to other creatures like the changelings without any interference of Starsworld. So I think like the magic of like ascension or getting wings, or how to say that, is a completely other kind of magic, or it is the magic of Starsworld, just in a other shape, way, or form, or how to say that. I know like this sounds a little bit weird and stuff like that, but I really do feel like when for example Forax's brother ascended to become like a changeling, it almost looked like the same as when Twilight was ascending to become an Alicorn. Now, I'm not saying it's the same thing, but I feel like it has a connection, like this ascending, becoming more than you actually are meant to, how to say that, like what you feel you're supposed to be, and like not only inventing new magic but also inventing new forms of love is something that I feel can ascend you to Alicornhood, and that could explain stuff like Flurry Heart. Not only has the Starlight spell affected the genes of like what is going on, but the spell of ascension itself have also affected everything and gone into like the generations and stuff like that. And it could actually explain a lot with if I'm right with the Amora being the changeling and actually being the mother of Spike and like the creator of all of this, then it would explain why Spike has this lust for rarity, and it would also explain why Spike has a greater sense of being friends with the changeling later on, aka Forax, because like he already has a connection to changelings. He already have a connection to dragons. But I feel like this is a theory that is a little bit out there, so I want you guys to tell me in the comment sections what you feel down below. If you feel like I'm way out there, I told you guys to hold on to your hooves, and this was going to be a really wild theory. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. I also feel like when working together, the Dragon King and Amora actually had enemies in the form of the griffins, and that's why we see some griffins turned into crystal. It because like the Dragon King actually used his fire and burned them and made them into crystals, like that's the only explanation, if it's not the one thing with Amora finding the Necronomicon book and turning them into crystals, and the dragons seeing this and becoming scared and flying away and didn't want to be involved in all of that. So yeah, I don't know about that, you guys, but tell me in the comments down below if you think like the dragon's eggs are Starswell's work, or you think like I'm onto something with like Amora being the first pony to actually break open a dragon egg. I also feel like that could make it so it went wrong, so like that's how we got the Pony of Shadows. But I will talk a little bit more about like how I feel the spell could have gone wrong if I'm right that Amora was a changeling and stuff like that tomorrow. So without further ado, do remember that inspiration is right around the corner. Do remember to take care of yourself and loved ones. And that was actually all. Yeah, okay. Bye.